Picture this. You've saved up and booked your bucket list trip. You've packed your bags, you've made it to the airport, only to realize that your passport is actually expired, or you needed a visa to get to this dream destination of yours and you didn't do it. Sounds like a nightmare, right? But don't worry, you're not alone. This is actually one of the most common mistakes that travelers will make when heading overseas. In today's video, I'm going to walk you through 7 of those very common mistakes that travelers will make when heading overseas. Plus, I'm going to tell you how to avoid them so that your trip is nothing but smooth sailing. Are you ready to travel like a pro? Let's jump in. If you guys are new here, I'm Lauren Kelly from It's the Kellys, and I've been to 107 countries and all 7 continents, traveling in a carry-on bag. And no, I am not some sort of world nomad. I live in Michigan, I have a full-time job, I have a family and a dog. I just travel as much as I can because it's very important to me. So here on this channel, I do reviews of essential travel items, I do packing tutorials, I will show you my vlogs when I travel, and of course do travel help videos like this one. I'm seeing a lot of new travelers lately finally going out and seeing the world. I want to use my knowledge and experience to help all of you travelers have the best time on your trip. So please hit that subscribe button and follow us on Instagram for even more. And help me help you by letting me know what advice you need. Mistake number 1 is not checking the validity of your passport or seeing what entry requirements are to the country you're traveling to. This is something that can completely derail your travel plans if you're not careful. Most countries require your passport to be valid for at least 6 months beyond your travel dates to that country. And oftentimes you need at least 1 blank page in your passport for a stamp. Some countries might even require 4 pages. Imagine flying with a passport that's not valid and then arriving to that country after a long flight only to be denied. Do not make this mistake. And do not forget about visas. Some countries you can just arrive and get a visa upon arrival, but some you may have to do an e-visa about a month before, and some countries you might even need to mail in your passport with visa paperwork and a money order in order to get your visa before you even leave. A simple Google search will help with this. For example, I will be going to Uganda this summer. So if I want to see what is needed for my entry as an American, all I'm going to do is Google entry requirements for US citizens going to Uganda. And according to the US Department of State, I need to obtain my visa in advance, have proof of my yellow fever vaccine, have 6 months left before my expiry date, and at least 1 blank page for a stamp. And that's just for Uganda. I have a couple of other African countries I'm visiting as well. So I will also likely need a blank page for other visas too. As long as you check these requirements well in advance and get everything accomplished, you will quite literally be cleared for takeoff. Mistake number 2 is skipping travel insurance. And believe me, I know that travel insurance is an extra cost that you don't exactly want to factor into your travel budget, but imagine having to pay thousands of dollars during an emergency or with some sort of flight cancellation when you just need to get home. I'd much rather spend a little bit of money on travel insurance than spend all of that out of pocket. I can't tell you how many times I've had to use my travel insurance. There's actually a lot of travel credit cards out there that have travel insurance built into your perks of the card. Just make sure to look into all of that and pick the travel insurance company that's going to cover you for the circumstances that may come your way. And speaking of travel credit cards, mistake number 3 is managing your money abroad the wrong way. I see so many travelers making mistakes when it comes to money, like using their debit card and getting a ton of fees, or exchanging money at the airport. I could talk for so long about money while traveling, and in fact I've done a whole video on it before. Let's just talk about a few things here real quick. My first tip is to get a travel credit card with no foreign transaction fees. Always notify your bank that you are traveling and what countries you are traveling to. I do not want your card to get shut off while you are abroad because you didn't alert them that you were traveling. Traveling with a Visa or MasterCard is always best. American Express and Discover aren't always accepted in other countries. And please do not use your debit card for transactions. You will get hit with a ton of fees. Just use it when you go to the ATM. Yes, I do recommend going to an ATM once you get to the country that you are traveling in, but not just any ATM. Go to one that is an actual bank. You want the littlest fee as possible. A lot of the times your bank at home will give you a little fee, the bank's ATM will give you a little fee, and that's it. We'll keep it very minimal. Believe me, there are some scammy ATMs out there that will charge you a huge fee. And while we're at it, don't exchange money at the airport. You're going to get a horrible rate. Try to do it in the city center if you can. And make sure that the bills you are exchanging are new and in really good condition. What questions do you have about money management while you're traveling? Let me know down below. Mistake number 4 is ignoring local transportation options. It's so easy to think that you can just get a taxi or an Uber, and you definitely can. But if that's what you assume, you might be sleeping on some amazing options of some metros or buses within the city that are not only a lot more affordable, but sometimes a lot more convenient. Before you travel, just do a little bit of research about the public transportation. Do they have an underground train? Do they have great buses? Do they have a 1, 2, 3, or 7 day card that you can get for all of those options? Do they have a special rideshare app that isn't Uber that you can download? And also, did you know that a lot of other airports around the world will have a train that goes directly from the airport to the city center, and it's usually extremely cheap. And don't forget, if you are traveling within a country or to a neighboring country, you don't always have to fly. There may be some amazing train or bus options instead. Mistake number 5 is not researching local customs and etiquette in the country you're traveling to. What's acceptable in your home country may not be acceptable in the country you're traveling to. You could accidentally offend somebody or put yourself in a really awkward, embarrassing situation. Before you go, just take a minute to learn about the local culture. A quick Google search can really help with this. This includes things like greeting people, what to wear, dining etiquette, and tipping. For example, in some countries, it's rude to tip, but here in the US, it's expected. Or did you know that some hand gestures, like pointing your finger or using your left hand, is a big no-no in some countries? Even shaking hands, which is very common here, is not acceptable everywhere. Learning little things like this can really help make your trip smoother and give you a much more fun time with the locals. Next up, mistake number 6 is none other than overpacking. If you guys are new here, I am a packing freak. I only pack in a carry-on, and I preach this time and time again. Do not overpack when you travel. It's so easy to fall into the trap of, I need this just in case, and I need 75 outfits for 12 days because I want options. I know, I've heard it all. Believe me, I've had a packing channel for years. I've heard all of your excuses. But if I can pack for a month in a carry-on, you can pack for a week in a carry-on. Let's say you book that Caribbean cruise and you check a bag because you need all of your cute cruise outfits. You need a different bathing suit for every single day, let alone your 12 pairs of shoes. You arrive at the destination where your cruise is taking off from, and you go to the baggage carousel and your bag isn't there, but your cruise leaves that night. What are you gonna do? They are not going to send that bag to the cruise ship. Just pack light. I have dozens upon dozens upon dozens of videos on this channel to help you out. Check the description. I will link some down below. And finally, mistake number 7 is simply traveling during the wrong season. I'm talking about traveling during peak season. I don't know about you, but I don't want to travel when there are huge crowds and really high prices and long wait times for everything. I want to be able to get a great price on a flight and my accommodation and stroll around the city or take a tour without a ton of people. I always book my trips in the shoulder season, which, if you don't know, means a couple of months before the peak season or a couple of months after. Traveling during a shoulder season is going to be so much more pleasant, I assure you. I can talk to 2 different people that have been to the same place where they've had completely different experiences just based on the season that they went. A little bit of research goes a long way. And speaking of research, don't just assume that you know what the weather is going to be like in the country you're traveling to. Boy, have I made this mistake a lot. Like, you have a big break in the summer, so you want to go to the Middle East because Lauren went there, so it looks really cool. And you don't realize it's gonna be 130 degrees. Or you're like, let's do a big Southeast Asia trip. And then you realize it's monsoon season. Or you find that incredible deal on a Caribbean cruise that seems way too good to be true. And it is, because it's in hurricane season. Do your research. Have you guys made any of these mistakes before? I know I have. I mean, I lost my passport while I was abroad and had to get a new one before traveling home. And that's why I'm here to help you guys not make the same mistakes that I have. Let's tell our mistakes down in the comments. I think it could be a really interesting comment section that can really teach everybody that's reading the comments what different mistakes people have made and what to do to fix it instead. Are there some travel mistakes that you see people make that I haven't mentioned here today? Are there things that you are dying to know before you go on your next international trip? That's what the comment section is for. Let me know. I am here to help you, and there's probably some other experienced travelers that are watching this that are here to help you in the comments as well. If you found this video helpful, please press subscribe, like this video, and turn on the notification bell for even more videos. So thank you guys so much for watching. I really hope this video was helpful, and I really hope that you enjoy your next trip. I'll see you in the next video. Bye!